What is up, Jaguar fans? Here we are back with another preview video, and this preview video is coming up very quickly because we have Thursday Night Football this week, man. Thursday Night Football, and I'm extremely excited for this game for a few reasons. One reason is that we're not playing the Titans. It seems like usually the NFL makes us play the Titans every year on Thursday Night Football, and I always said, look, there's other teams in the NFL. We don't have to play the Titans on Thursday Night Football. I didn't know the schedules makers know that, but I guess I was speaking to them because we are not playing the Titans this year. And we're actually going out of the division, but staying in Florida. We're taking on the 0-2 Miami Dolphins. So the Jaguars are going into this game 1-1, and like I said, the Dolphins are 0-2. Both teams need a victory. Both teams need to win to really stay relevant. I mean, both the teams look at the schedule and say, look, we play this tough opponent, but this is a game that we need to win. Both teams are saying that. So the Jaguars obviously don't want to drop to 1-2, and the Dolphins don't want to drop to 0-3. So it's going to be a good one, man. And to help me preview the Dolphins side of things, I brought in TD Fins Talk. He has the largest Dolphins YouTube channel on the platform. So we're going to go ahead and get his side of things right after the intro. So let's get it. So joining me to break down the Dolphins side of things, I have TD Fins Talk, the largest Dolphin YouTuber on their site right now. So TD, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I'm doing great. Well, let me stop lying. I'm not doing so good at the start 0-2, but myself, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, it's never fun starting on 2. And I want to start asking this, man, because it seems like the Jaguars and Dolphins had a lot of parallels from 2020 to 2019. I mean, last year, the Dolphins were the perceived tanking team, kind of trading away Mika Fitzpatrick, Kenyon Drake, players like this. So, really going into kind of year 2 of what seems like a rebuild. Like, is it a total rebuild, or like, what do you think, like, the realistic standpoint that the ownership really put on these coaches? Like, do you think that they want this team to kind of compete for a playoff spot right now, or is the expectations that it's still a rebuild, maybe go 5-11, 6-10 this year, then 2021 you're going to really try to go out there and get a AFC East championship?
Well, we were in an official full rebuild. We were in an official full rebuild. There was zero expectations to try to win now. Of course, our coach is trying to go out and win every game with the personnel that we have, but we're in a full rebuild. But the good thing is we're on the back end of that rebuild. I think we had what you would call an accelerated rebuild. So we actually started our process about 3 years ago. No one noticed it, but slowly but surely we would get rid of certain players that were veterans, high priced, and we've just this year come up from under. We were still paying Ndamukong Suh after being removed from the team almost 3 years. So we've finally gotten to the point where our salary cap, our books are in order, and we can start to pile up talent. And that's what we've done. And we're on the back end of it. 2021 is where the expectations start.
So this year, the Dolphins went out there and, they drafted Tua. They were lucky that I think they drafted at the 6th overall spot, and Tua kind of, fell there after, some teams grabbed quarterback, and, we had a DB go off the board earlier on. So, but the thing is, man, Tua right now is not playing. And I know myself, I'm a component of, I like to say, if you have a rookie, go ahead and play the rookie, especially, where the Dolphins are right now where, they got to kind of evaluate the talent that's on the roster right now and go forward with it. But, it's looking like Fitzpatrick is out there playing. Like, how long of a leash do you think Fitzpatrick has right now? And do you think that, is there any kind of injury going on with Tua, or why do you think it is that really Tua is not out there playing right now when you look around and see like Joe Burrow out there playing for Cincinnati?
Yeah, you see Joe Burrow playing. You see Justin Herbert, who was the actual 6th overall pick. Tua was 5. They're out there playing for their respective teams and looking good. Looking like they've been in the league for several years now. And we have what many consider should have been the best rookie coming into this league this year, even over Joe Burrow, sitting on the bench behind a journeyman, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, I'm with you on this one. I'm the type of person, play your rookie right way. But in regards to injuries, Tua came into this league with a concern after having the major hip injury. But ever since he was drafted, he was deemed 100% healthy. They've officially removed him from the injury report. And when you ask about what is the leash on Ryan Fitzpatrick, I hate to say this, but unfortunately, the Jacksonville Jaguars might be the first team to feel the wrath of Tua Tagovailoa. We don't know yet. I mean, the better part of my intuition is saying that Ryan Fitzpatrick will play the entire game and he will be our starter until he gets hurt or just plays just so bad that they have to move on. But we haven't heard an update this week yet on who the starting quarterback would be. I would say it's going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick, but we're getting closer and closer to seeing Tua. I couldn't imagine it playing out late in the season. So I'm one of those individuals that hope it is against the Jags, give us a spark. We're already mad about going 0-2 and having a huge chance to win last week's game and blowing it the first week. So that's where we are on Tua. He's not injured, though. And a lot of people are saying he's just not ready yet. And that concerns me. But at the same token, all we can do is be patient and wait to see his coming out party and see what that brings us.
So the first 2 weeks of the season, the Jaguars played, the Colts, and they played the Titans. So two familiar opponents within the AFC South, two teams that we know a lot about. But, no, we don't know as much about the Dolphins. We don't play them every year, haven't played since 2018. So kind of tell us a little bit about the Dolphins, man. What are some strengths of the team and what are some weaknesses so far?
Well, we're a team that's trying to find themselves in an identity right now. We have a lot of strengths, but we have some weaknesses that shouldn't be weaknesses, and that's what we're in. Now, let me get a little more detailed. I'll start on the offensive side of the ball. We've been surprised and shocked. The area that we've struggled for the last 20 years seems like it's been our best area on the entire team, and that's the offensive line, providing great pass protection against two teams that love to get at the quarterback in the Patriots and the Buffalo Bills, who has a great defensive line. We provided excellent protection for our quarterback in the last 2 weeks. And the first week, the running game wasn't great. It was okay. But last week, we ran the ball a lot more and actually picked up a few chunks at a time. So the offensive line is just surprising us beyond measure. The wide receiving core, if we can keep Devontae Parker healthy, we have a great wide receiving core. I don't have any concerns about our wide receiving core. And we were worried he wasn't going to go this week versus Buffalo, but he did go. He was a game time decision, and he produced. And I think even the Jags have to be worried about our up-and-coming tight end, Mike Gesicki, who he actually broke a record for our franchise, I believe 137 yards versus Buffalo on 8 catches. He's a guy that when it touches his hand, he's not going to drop the ball. He's literally a beast in that arena. So he's going to put pressure on your secondary and your linebackers all day. In the running back situation, man, we brought in Jordan Howard and Matt Breida in the offseason who were studs on their teams. But shockingly enough, those guys aren't even our premier back. It's the young guy, Myles Gaskins, who is running the heck out of the ball. It is crazy to see how he's ripping it up and has actually earned his spot above the depth chart. And he's our premier back now, which is crazy. I can't even believe it. But that's our offense. You already know the quarterback situation. Just we got to see what happens. But on defense, we've spent the most money in the NFL in our secondary. And we have what should be a top 5 secondary. The problem is we've been dealing with injuries. Byron Jones, who we acquired from the Cowboys via free agency, they did not retain his services. We made him the highest paid corner until the most recent signing in the league. And he's our lockdown guy. And on the third play of last week, he pulled that groin. And they haven't ruled him out versus the Jags, but they said it would have to be a miraculous recovery to play him on Thursday. I'm not going to count on him. So what we ended up doing is having to move our superior first-round pick, Noah Igbenogany, the nickel corner, into the outside boundary. Stephon Diggs had a field day with him on the boundary. He's more served in the nickel. and we had to put Nick Needham in the nickel, and we just had a tough time covering. And unfortunately, the star in Miami, Xavier Howard, our Pro Bowl corner, he's been battling injuries, but he's been on the field, but you can actually tell that something's wrong. Not playing he's not playing like his prime self. So we're struggling in the secondary. We've struggled to stop the run, although this week we did a much better job than week 1 against the run. And it's just outside of our defensive tackles, who's played a lot better, we're just having a rough go on the defensive end of the ball, led by injuries. And I think that as time goes, we'll get it together, and I hope that's this week.
Last couple of weeks, man, the week 1 against the Colts, no Colts fans were giving the Jaguars a chance, and the Jaguars actually went out there and beat the Colts. Week 2, none of the Titans fans were giving the Jaguars any chance, and the Jaguars went toe for toe with them and lost 33-30. This week, what's the feel on Miami, man? Does Miami feel like they are just going to go out there and take care of business, or is there a little bit of respect from the Dolphins against the Jaguars this week?
Listen, since this is a short week, we have been unable to actually gauge the feel of this game yet. That'll start coming in tonight and tomorrow. But I will tell you this. I saw what you all did in the Colts game, and I'll be honest with you. You know, when you do your season predictions, listen, the Jaguars was a game that we better win. It's impossible for us to lose. This is a guaranteed victory. It's the Jags. Come on, guys, you know. And I'm gonna be honest with you. After week 1, when you all beat the Colts, I said, "Are you kidding me? How did that happen? They must be over there fighting." Wow, just like they thought we were tanking last year, we were still fighting though, and trying to win games. And I watched the Tennessee a large portion of the Tennessee game in and out because I'm a huge Tannehill fan, obviously. And gosh, man, my whole perspective changed for you all to put up 30 points. Minshew throwing the ball the way that he was throwing it. Listen, man, a sense of nervousness came upon me because it's the Jags for us, and we should win that game. And that has went out of the window. That has went out of the window. We have a Thursday on a short week with the team who's been disrespected, and they are fighting, and they would love to start their season 2-1 and tell people to put some respect on their name. And that has me concerned because our offense I'm not more so concerned about. But at the same token, if you all are going to move the ball the way you are on offense right now and our defense struggling the way that we are, and this is a shootout, I don't like that. I don't like the feeling of that, and I'll be honest with you, I'm mad about it because the Jacksonville Jaguars are a real threat to beat the Miami Dolphins. It's not going to happen, but they are a real threat to beat the Miami Dolphins, and we shouldn't. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous, and not in a bad way. Like, oh, I'm nervous. It's just, man. This is not a cakewalk. This is not a go in there and beat up on the Jags. This is a real football game where you're going to have to earn it, especially after I've seen what happened in Tennessee. That is a good football team. You all did a good job limiting Derrick Henry, and you couldn't be stopped throwing the ball. Man, this is going to be a real battle.
TD, man, I really appreciate you coming on here, and everybody watching. I'm going to drop all the links to his, YouTube channel, his social media down below. We're also, right after this, we're going to do a live stream, and by the time this video is up on YouTube, it will be over. So I'll put the archived version, the archived live stream down in the description too. Go over there, man. Throw a Duval in his comment section. Let him know I sent you. And yeah, TD, man, good luck on Thursday night, and thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it, man. Duval. I got a lot of friends in Jacksonville, man.
I like it. So huge shout out to TD for coming in here and helping me break down the Dolphins side of things. But let's get into the Jaguars side of the ball, man. I mean, we have 2 games under our belt, so a 2-game sample size after having no preseason games. And what do we know about this Jaguar team? We know that this is a high-powered offense. These Jaguars are scoring points, and we are finally, for once, driving the ball downfield, and we have a little bit of confidence that, look, if we're down 7 points, 14 points, or if it's tied up, at the end of the game, we have faith that this offense can move the ball. And I think it all kind of starts with the new acquisition of our offensive coordinator Jay Gruden. I mean, we all know that these last 4 years we've just been shuffling different offensive coordinators in here, from Nathaniel Hackett to John DeFilippo, and now we brought in this Jay Gruden, who obviously it didn't work out for him over in Washington. He was a great offense coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals, but man, he is doing a great job with scheming some of these guys open. We've been opening up the run game. Receivers been playing really well. The offensive line, even though it's the same unit as last year, they're playing at a really high level. And most of all, Gardner Minshew has been fantastic for us. Gardner Minshew, 3 touchdowns each of the last couple of games. Against the Colts, he had a 95% completion percentage. This most recent game, 67% completion percentage. So he has been just absolutely killing it. And we've been loving Gardner Minshew so far, and really Gardner Minshew has erased all talks of this whole tanking thing out of here. So this offense we know can do some good things, and we know can score some points. But what are some of the downsides, man? I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and start with the special teams. I mean, last week, I hope it was an anomaly, because usually the Jaguars special teams unit is pretty good. But when you look at it, man, our kick return, punt returner Chris Claybrooks dropped a punt and a kick return. That's not good. Logan Cook at the end of the game had a horrible punt that gave the Titans the ball at their own 40-yard line for their final drive of the game. Not good. And then Josh Lambo, even, at the halftime, at the end of the half, squibbed it and hit a player and really set them up for 3 points. And he also missed an extra point. But, not good. But obviously, hopefully that was an anomaly, and hopefully that the Jaguars can overcome that. But last of all, let's talk about the defense, man. What we've seen from this defense is that they have not been able to get much pressure on the quarterback. Week 1, Phillip Rivers gets rid of the ball extremely, extremely quickly, so we didn't end up with any sacks that game. But the following week, man, Ryan Tannehill was able just to sit back in the pocket and pick apart our team and, just throw to the soft spots of the zone, and he was throwing downfield, throwing to tight ends, just... we kind of, the Jaguars really went all in on stopping Derrick Henry, but it opened it up for the quarterback. And the Jaguars, they need to start getting pressure on the quarterback this game. So get some pressure on Ryan Fitzpatrick early. We need to, what my ideal situation for this game is, make Ryan Fitzpatrick throw 3 interceptions in the first half, then we'll get the Tua show in the second half. That's what I'm hoping for. But, this defense... got to be able to stop him when it comes to actually getting some pass rush in there. The Dolphins O-line has been playing pretty good, so it's going to be another challenge for us. Josh Allen has been pretty quiet so far. Josh Allen is our best defensive lineman right now, and obviously last year not as much attention was on him, as the Jaguars had Calais Campbell and Yannick Ngakoue, a couple more experienced guys. But now Josh Allen is the guy, and he's got to find a way to get in there and get some pressure. It's only 2 games, so I'm not going to freak out. And he started getting going a little bit in the fourth quarter of the most recent game, getting some hits out there. But we want him to come on early, man. We want him to be a force throughout the game, and he hasn't really been seen much, but. Just defensive line, crank up the pressure. Like, we need to get more out of there. I think the linebackers with Joe Schobert and Myles Jack have been playing really good, but also the defensive backs, man. Outside of C.J. Henderson and maybe Josh Jones, I mean, it hasn't been very good. Herndon hasn't started off very good. DJ Hayden has not started off very good. It's going to be a challenge this game, man, because they've got some receiving options to cover. Guys like, tight end Mike Gesicki is emerging. They got Devontae Parker, so... the Jaguars need to dial something up, and they need to play some good defense. I mean, I'm pretty confident, especially with the way Miami's defensive backs have been playing, that we're going to be able to put up some points. But, I don't want to shoot out, man. I want to win this game handily, and I don't want them to go out there and blow us up on defense and, just be exchanging touchdowns, man. We have to step up, especially if we want to, have a winning record this year, maybe push for a playoff spot. Have to stop that. And one thing that I do want to talk about is the Jaguars have been starting off these games really slow. I mean, they went out to a 14-0 deficit in the most recent matchup against the Titans. Not good. They went out to a 7-0 deficit against the Colts in Week 1. Start off fast, man. Get the first score, similar to like what we did last year in Week 3 of Thursday Night Football against the Titans. Get up to a 14-0 lead. Jaguars need to do that. Jaguars, need to step up. And, when you look at this game, man, I almost felt like against the Titans, the Jaguars were playing with house money because We already beat the Colts. Everyone, Titans are a tough team. We could kind of give that one away, but right now against the Dolphins, we need to win this one. If we want to really be a winning team, you have to take care of opponents like this. And quite frankly, the Dolphins are standing on the other side, man. Dolphins don't want to go 0-3. Jaguars don't want to go 1-2. So both teams are really fighting for relevancy this game. But I think the Jaguars will win this one and move on to 2-1 with the Bengals coming up after that. And Jaguars have a sour taste in their mouth right now, especially after losing that close one to the Titans last Sunday. So, come in here. If you get a win, you got you got about 10 days to relax until the next game and get rested up a little bit. And, hopefully the Jaguars can continue to do well. Minshew continue to do well, continue to get contribution from the rookies. And, we could be able to take care of them. But, of course, it's going to be a tough opponent, tough matchup. And, yeah, I mean, I will say I will be live streaming this game. So definitely come on by Thursday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. And also check out TD Finn's talk. I appreciate him coming on. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, man. Shout out to all the members of the channel. If you're a member of the channel, you do get to watch these preview videos a day earlier than everybody else. So, if you're interested in becoming a member, that is as low as $3 a month. I also have UCF Jaguar merch if you guys are interested in copying that and helping out the channel a little bit. And yeah, man. Thank you guys all so much for watching. You guys can follow me and all the links down below, UCF_Jaguar on Twitter and Instagram. And with all that said, I will see you guys Thursday. Go Jags, Duval till we die, and I'm out.